6 p.m. Commissioner Thomas, could I ask you to do the prayer, sir?
Yes, sir.
And I'll lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Father God in heaven, we thank you for being God Almighty, having all power in your hand. Father, we ask you to watch over us tonight, to be in this meeting, that everything we do will be pleasing in your sight, decent and in order. Father, we ask you to continue to bless this county, bless each commissioner, bless those that are here and those that are listening and those that want to be here. Father, we ask you to continue to allow us to grow and to do what we can to make this a better place to live and make the best decisions on behalf of our constituents. Father, we ask that you bless those who are fighting in harm's way, that we may exercise the right to meet here like we are in our safety. We thank you for being God Almighty. We ask you to continue to watch over us. We pray in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item, agenda, adoption of the agenda. Open floor for a motion.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Next item is approval of the minutes for a regular meeting, minutes May the 6th, 2024. Does anybody have any changes they'd like to make? If not, do I have a motion to accept the minutes of May 6th?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we accept the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. Line item 6 is presentations and announcements. Mr. Mark Nichols, grand jury recommendations.
Thank you very much. I'm Mark Nichols. I had the wonderful opportunity to serve on grand jury here from November to April of this last session. And I really thought it was very important to get an opportunity to come and share with you guys tonight some of the things that we found and some recommendations that we as the grand jury came up with regarding our jail. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read some of this, but please don't hesitate to interrupt as I bring up certain things that may be of interest to you in terms of what we found. Inmate deaths in county jails are not an uncommon occurrence here in Georgia. Even during this last grand jury term, 2 inmate deaths were reported in Georgia. Members of the grand jury wanted to discover whether adequate funding, policies and procedures, tools and personnel existed to provide for and protect staff and inmates. Deficiencies in any of these categories could endanger lives. So I'm going to skip down to the next section here and talk about the findings that we found associated with our investigation. The first one is that the local staff nurse does an excellent job despite the overwhelming challenges of the role. As is common in corrections, many of the inmates arrive with mental health issues and in creative ways to attempt to circumvent incarceration or adequate medical care. On the day of the inspection, an inmate attempted to injure himself by jumping from the second floor landing onto a table in the common area 3 successive times. The video footage was recorded by observation cameras, clearly revealed that his intent was to hurt himself and that he had very inadequate acting skills. This was likely in hopes of receiving a medical injury release on his own recognizance, since he was being held on a misdemeanor charge. The staff handled the challenge safely and appropriately, but the persistence, strength, and determination of the inmate to cause problems lasted for hours. He screamed for hours while I was there during the inspection. It was very stressful and also very informative. The local staff nurse is currently working 7 days a week frequently. because of the challenge of finding qualified nurses to provide coverage for nights, weekend, and paid time off. The third finding was that approved medications are properly controlled and administered. However, due to the danger of some medications commonly used for mental illness and previous attempts by inmates to misuse those medications, sometimes an inmate does not receive the medications they need to moderate the symptoms of some of the medical illnesses or the medical issues that they face. While this creates risk, the staff closely monitors those cases with frequent checks to mitigate those risks. Number 4, especially missing on the list of approved medications are the appropriate medications to treat seizures. And I want you to think about that for just a minute. I had 2 sons that had seizures and were required to take seizure medication. And to think about coming cold turkey off of seizure medication when you're incarcerated, to me sounds like a nightmare for the person who's going through that. Number 5, and by the way, I have a recommendation on that in just a moment. Number 5, there are inadequate, properly equipped facilities for both medical isolation and the appropriate mental health care. There was a pod in the original plan, the construction jail plan, that was designated for use that was not constructed as originally planned. The construction is still awaiting funding. Number 6, policies and procedures are generally understood and followed by the staff. Detention staff members frequently perform above and beyond the requirements because of their care and dedication. And make no mistake, I was so impressed by the folks that work at our detention facility. They try so hard to do the best they can, and they go way above and beyond what's just required in policy. We're proud of them, like we all are. Number 7, Deputy Chief Hargrove and Chief Mays continually look for opportunities to optimize spending needed to have a safe working environment and a well-trained staff. And I went to high school with Mike. He's a great guy, and boy, he does a good job in trying to figure out ways to save our county money and do a great job. I was so impressed with some of the ideas that he had shared with me that they'd implemented, and thankful as a taxpayer in his approach and the way he had done things. So now I have some specific recommendations. I also called out here number 8. All staff members were very conscientious and caring, and I called out their names here. Good folks, very good folks. But I want to talk specifically now about the recommendations I have for this. Number 1 is I'd like to see that we approve and provide funding for hiring either a second nurse or a part-time paramedic or EMT to provide medical coverage for up to 16 hours per day and relief for the staff nurse or maintain a relationship with a secondary nursing provider. One staff nurse should not be required to work 7 days a week. Number 2, I'd like to ask that we approve the procurement and use of the appropriate form or an appropriate form of CBD oil. This is oil that doesn't contain THC. I lived in Colorado for 20 years and became very familiar with Charlotte's Web as a strain of CBD that was excellent at controlling seizures. I had personal friends. Their son had over 200 seizures a day, and they were almost eliminated from the availability of this CBD. Number 3, I'm recommending that we increase and fund the number of days per week for a mental health counselor. Currently, she's available one day a week, and I'd like to see her have her there at least 2 days a week. And I'd also like to allow and encourage detention employees to attend at least one session a month based on the amount of stress that they're facing. Number 4, I'd like to recommend that we begin a budgeted monthly set-aside to fund completion of the medical mental health pod within the next 3 years. We may also consider adding this as a capital project to be covered by the SPLOST tax revenues. And the last one is I'd like for you guys to all go visit the jail. They do a wonderful tour, and I think it's really important for folks in leadership to know what we're facing. If you haven't been, it's an eye-opener. My conclusion for all this is that the taxpayers of Wayne County frequently complain about how tax dollars are spent. I'm sure y'all have experienced that, right? We spend too much money. Taxpayers may be more frustrated, however, when they perceive that the corrections are unsafe and/or inmate deaths occur. And if you've been in this county long enough, you know that we've had a couple of inmate deaths here in Wayne County. Very unfortunate, and I've actually known a couple of them. However, the challenges of community safety, the health and safety of our county detention employees, and the county's potential liability for unnecessary inmate deaths are best addressed with adequate funding, proper training, the right tools, and excellent people. There's no question that we have excellent people who have stepped forward to answer the call, the challenge of keeping our community safe. Thank you, Sheriff, and your staff. We need to provide them with the funding and the tools to be successful. Any questions?
Do you have a copy for us? Can we take a copy?
There should be one in your book, but I also brought plenty of extra copies.
Jamie, it's in number 6.
Number 6. I didn't realize that, I know we had only one, I assumed that we only had the one nurse staff, but it never crossed my mind about 7 days a week.
So,
That's unsustainable for one person.
no, it's not. Someone has to administer the medications every day, and they have to be a qualified medical personnel, so they go through and, count the pills and make sure each inmate gets their pill. And so Saturdays and Sundays, if there's nobody to cover for her, she comes in on her Saturdays and Sundays. And she recently took a vacation with her husband down to Jekyll Island for the weekend and had to come back from vacation to administer meds.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Right.
Mark, this has been eye-opening for me. I've had a conversation this afternoon with the chief deputy about this, and I had mentioned to the administrator, Paul Drawdy, earlier that I'd like to take that tour of the jail. I encourage everybody to do that. It's just kind of been shoved out on the back burner, if you know what I mean. But
Yes, sir, I
we
do.
appreciate this.
I'm glad I had the opportunity to do this.
Did anybody counsel a young man who tried to jump off the thing there, and
He wasn't very open to counseling at the time.
that if he had stayed in school and probably signed up for the drama class, he'd have been a better actor?
It's gonna take more than that.
Well, Wayne County offers an excellent program called Leadership Wayne, and part of Leadership Wayne is touring that jail every single year. So I've had an opportunity to do it several times, and you are exactly right. It is a very, very eye-opening experience.
I've been through it.
We did have a part-time nurse that was helping cover some of that stuff. And, she's since quit us. We've actually talked about getting paramedics. I've actually got a deputy that's a paramedic that's been mentioned to helping fill in.
Good. Wonderful.
And, but the other nurse.
Yes, sir. I have a friend that works in community corrections as a nurse in another state, and I've heard the stories of the challenge of finding folks to do that. It's a really tough, it's not a job that people stand up and volunteer for very often.
So they administer these meds at the same time every day? I mean, it would mean somebody from our EMS could possibly just go out there, and so that the lady doesn't have to drive back from Jekyll Island? We could do that, possibly?
It would
Can we
have to be a
work together?
paramedic, wouldn't it?
Have to be a paramedic.
Yeah.
I've been through the jail. It's amazing how they deal with what they deal with in a professional manner.
They're heroes, they really are.
Yeah.
So, with the mental, you're saying that once a week, they make an appointment, and they speak with the person that we have elected that's professional to speak with. I assume that's Alden?
I don't know, I didn't meet the person that's doing,
Just the ones that has need of some kind of.
yeah, that request that, yes.
Okay. So you're saying that we need to suggest that for twice? in
I would
case we
suggest
have
at least
somebody
twice
that's
a
real
week.
mental issue or nervous breakdown or something, we do have that person available for them at least twice a week.
Yes.
If needed.
And the circumstances that somebody's going through to end up being incarcerated, whether it's foolish decisions or trauma that they've experienced in their life and they don't know how to relate, mental health is a huge challenge. And, I'm not sure what her availability is or whether or not another one should, be recruited to help with that. But it looks to me like there's a lot of opportunity for making our community better by having some more time available for those folks.
I agree.
Sheriff, I know that mental illness is a growing thing. Do you have any stats on that at all?
No, sir, I don't, but I can tell you that, the state is trying to get the local agencies to do things to house. And we have some out there now that we've had for almost a year. They hadn't been sent to Georgia Regional. And at one time, we had a lady out there that waited 8 months to go for an evaluation. It's an issue. The
Yeah.
state doesn't have the beds to take care of most of the mentally ill that we have locked up.
And you don't have any choice but to wait and house them here.
And the sad truth is, a lot of times, we keep them in jail because they are mentally ill,
Right.
rather than them going on with their sentencing or whatever.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
this has been an ongoing thing for a number of years, and the governor's legislation has made that a top priority as far as trying to fund mental illness. And a few years back, we addressed that issue, and I think maybe we need to revisit it. We talked about trying to see if the state would give us Wayne State Prison out there, that we would take that and along with the sheriff and sort of make that a regional facility for mental ill incarcerated patients. Because I think you only have one cell out there at the jail, right?
Yes, sir, that's right. And that was during COVID that we
Yeah.
actually approached them about
Right.
donating the prison.
So now may be a better time. That way you could get a couple counties going with us to defray the cost, you know, and it would free up space in this jail and make things more safer, so we might need to look at it.
Are we aware of any grant money that might be available for something like that?
I can tell you the two things off the top of my head that I was thinking about was one, the sheriff and Deputy Chief Hargrove and I spoke about it in the past in reference to developing a mental health cell with just a padded cell basically. That we had some ARP money that could be used for that, because I was thinking, and don't quote me here, but it seemed like Chief Hargrove told me in the $70,000 to $80,000 range is one of the prices they got the last time that they had looked into it. The second part, in reference to the mental health counseling, we've partnered with Anchored in Wellness in reference to the opioid funds, and I think I'll reach out to Shauna Mattingly and see if maybe there's something we could do there through that funding, because I know they do with the drug court, they'll do where they go in and, they interview the folks and, make recommendations and stuff. So it doesn't seem like it would be a stretch. And they're growing over there, and so they got a pretty good staff, and we might can be able to reach out to them and see if they can help out on that regards. The grant, to answer your question specifically, I'm not aware of anything out there, but.
Another pod would be very expensive, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. They'd actually planned for a medical pod that's in between the kitchen and the first pod that we have. There's actually a place that could be used for a medical pod, and it could double as a medical, but it'd be expensive. I don't remember the exact figures on it, but I know they've already made the plans for it and all that. I don't remember what the cost was. And of course, it's probably went up dramatically since it was done.
I'm sure, yeah.
When we built it in pods so that we knew that the jail was gonna increase, that we could add on to the pods. So, the plans are there, the space is there, we just need the finance.
I'd like to look into that a little more and see what the cost of the pod would be, and see what the, what's it called, Wayne State.
Yeah, Wayne State?
Maybe that's an option, but, what are our options, it all comes down to money, okay? And what's best for the taxpayers. So, thank you, Mark.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thanks, sir.
Next item is concerned citizens. I don't see Dennis Grantham. So, do we table that?
Normally what we do is he'll call back if he wants to request to be on the agenda next month.
Okay.
And Mr. Thaddeus Buggs, he called this afternoon and said he wasn't gonna be able to make it.
Okay. So next item, public hearings. We don't have any old business. Consider approve EMS medical director agreement. 9A.
Mr. Chairman, this is, we had talked about it, I think, in the last meeting in reference to, Dr. Mullis was our EMS director for some time. And that he and Director Johnson always kind of had maybe a unwritten pact that whenever he left, that, Dr. Mullis would kind of hang up his, belt as well. So our interim director, Don Wilson, he reached out to, Dr. McCarthy, Joshua McCarthy. I think this is a very good choice. Dr. McCarthy is an actual EMS direct. I mean, he's a ER doctor, but he also has kind of a certification as an EMS director doctor, where he will come 4 times a year to our ambulance service, meet with the paramedics, meet with the director, and talk to them about, just what's going on and if he sees anything in the reports and that type of thing.
He has to sign off on the drugs given and
That's correct. Yes,
monitor
sir.
all that.
Yes, sir. We will actually function as EMS under his license.
Right.
Yes, sir. We have to have a medical doctor.
And the fee for this was very, very low.
$2,500
A
a
year.
year. Yes, sir.
So, open floor for a motion to consider or approve the EMS director agreement.
I make the motion to approve.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and second. Let's get, no. We have a motion and second. Anybody have anything on that? If not, Madam Clerk, you call the roll.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
DFAC's board, Ms. Stacy Harris has resigned her term ending June the 30th. I have spoken with Ms. Linda Hall. She has accepted that position. So I make a motion, we approve Linda Hall for the DFAC's board.
I second it.
We have a motion second. Any conversation on that? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
New business, consider approve agreement with Georgia Department of Corrections for prison detail. Mr. Administrator, I don't think anything's changed on this, has it?
No, sir, it hadn't.
We're just basically paying the salaries of 2 correction officers. And that's what,
98,000.
98,000.
636.
Yes, sir. We have 2 crews, and that's typically what that is that's the payment for each guard that they send with the crews, which is part of our annual contract, or the contract that we usually do every year.
So I have a motion to accept.
So moved.
I'll second it. Anybody have anything they want to say? No? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Consider approve, bids for fence, lights, recreation spec. You got the show.
Well,
Oh, you got it.
you know, since we built our walking track, I reckon this is our new one right here on this screen here. There's no way, and we got people fishing out there, and we got also people walking day and night. There's no way to keep traffic off this track. People fish, they wanna drive over the track it's just constantly traffic out here. We got people, kids walking every day out here, and you got people walking on this track or riding all through here, tearing our concrete up where people can't walk. So I came to Paul and asked, you know, we need to get a fence. Like I said, that's one thing I can think to keep out. And like I said, here's our office right here. We wanna start our fence here and come on down and come all the way around this pond. And this is our football field, and it block off some of this parking, and also we got a big water line out here that people wanna drive over. I think we've had it bust twice since I've been here, so this also eliminates some of these people from riding up in here. We actually can put a gate here, and in each spot, we have some walkthroughs where these people can get on the track, and have access to the track. But mainly, it's just to try to keep these people from riding on this track and just all over the place. You know, they come in behind our office and come in this way, and they'll come to Hand Park, or I don't know what they're doing, but, you know, they all over the place down there. And we just, you know, thankfully nobody got run over, or somebody got pushed in the pond, or they run into the pond, or whatever. But I think it's just, you know, more of a safety issue than it is anything.
Where's the designated parking for the football fields?
Right here.
Okay, so that would
And
still,
this is your new parking lot. I don't think it shows on here, but this is your new parking lot.
so
This is
you're
the one
gonna
that's been paved.
fence around that?
Yes, ma'am, you have a gate come in here.
So on days that there's not a sanctioned event, because I know people go out there.
No, we have a gate here, but it'll be unlocked because this is the only way you have access to come to your basketball courts.
Okay.
And also you have access coming through these fields right here where they can go to this field here. So this gate, it'll just be a gate there, we can lock it, we wanna lock it, but it'll be open most of the time because you got people that wanna play basketball and this is where they park at.
Yes, sir.
And then when they play at the junior boys field, they park here and they just walk through.
Yes, sir.
So we'll just have a gate there just in case we ever have to lock it or whatever. No, it'll be where we can get our equipment in or whatever, but it's mostly for safety for our part. Because like I said, we don't have, you know, we try to put some parking blocks right here. That
Yep.
don't work. We have some parking blocks right out here and they just run over them because they're plastic. So, there's just no way to keep these people out. So I talked to the guy and he asked me, you know, I think we need to put up a fence. So we tried it and that's what we come up with. So.
You got the two.
It's a lot of fence, don't get me wrong, this is a lot of fence, I don't know what the footage is or whatever, but that is a lot of fence.
2,050 feet.
Is, okay. So,
Is it necessary to do the whole thing spec to keep
yes, sir,
people
because
from out?
like I said, that's the only way you can actually keep them off, because if you leave them, because any of these spots they can come in on, because this is where a lot of people park at, right here, this is our babies parking, and this is where they have access to the track at. And all we got right here is like a little rope, and, you know, but most of the time, this get the whole area, because like I said, you can get on this track from anywhere on this, around this pond, so there's no access to, you know, and, you know, with the water and the concrete, the blacktop, every time they ride on it, they're cracking it, so it's gonna eventually just be nothing out there if they keep riding on that thing or coming across it or whatever. I know that's a lot of fence, but that's the only issue we could come up with to try to keep these people from riding all over the place.
So how much is that?
The low bid on it
You
was
got it. You got them.
$27,580. We got two bids, the other one was $28,678.29. It's in B. We handle each one of these individually, Madam Clerk, the fence and then the lights.
You can, yes.
Okay, so I open the floor for a motion to accept the low bid of $27,580 for 2,050 feet of 4-foot chain link fence at Marsh Park.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Does it make sense to have another gate opening at this end to alleviate traffic during the end of an event so that more cars can get out?
well, right here, you got manholes.
Okay.
Covers, because this is the only place you can, and like I said, we're trying to eliminate them and come across this park. During football season, a few of them just park here. The main parking lot's right here.
Okay.
And we got 2 accesses, we got one here, and then one goes on Henson Mosley. But right here, it's a bad area, right, because this is about where, I think this is where the pipe bust at, but we got a manhole cover right there. So just putting a gate there, because a lot of them access it, but it'll be big enough where you can get 2 cars in at one time, and then, like I said, you got a access here to the highway, and you also got another one right here, so it won't be backed up too much. But it, like I said, sometimes with football season, but like I said, you got 2 of them here, so it'll work pretty good like that.
So is there ever a plan, I'm just, the parking's what's got me, because I know so many grandparents that don't go to games because they just can't. Is there any plans to put parking on the other side anywhere?
We had plans, we had plans for the football field park. You know, I think, we did this one first. And then there was actually plans for it to bring it on around.
Uh-huh,
You know, then we supposed to, we was gonna put a walkway through here
yeah,
where they can access it.
and what,
And there's supposed to be a walkway down the middle of this thing.
yeah,
And each branch branches off to each field. It was handicap accessible, but
and what happened?
I reckon it fell through the cracks.
Can we unfall it through the cracks and bring it?
We sure can.
That would be perfect. I would
Yes, ma'am.
request that we bring that thing back,
Yeah, we
because
have-
I know
we
a
have-
lot of grandparents
We had-
that want
we
to
were-
go watch their
we
kids
was
play.
gonna tear that road up and put us a walkway down there and plant your grass and have it real nice to get that concrete off again. But we was also gonna have a little, where there's space off to each field, and you can walk right there and be right there at it, so.
So Commissioner Hickox, are you
Yes, sir.
talking about where that triangle is, the yellow triangle is,
No.
paving that, or are you talking about what?
I'm talking about that parking lot. A lot of people park in that parking lot, and if you want to go watch, my grandson plays middle school baseball, and I know that my parents can't go watch him play middle school baseball because you have to, and it's a walk, isn't it, Spec? It's kind of a walk. It's kind of a walk. So I'm trying to. My question is, is there any way to put parking on the other side? If this was blown out a little bit, if we could zoom out a little bit, because we're concentrated on a fence, I
Right,
understand.
yeah.
But it's really, really a challenge for a whole generation of people to watch their kids.
Well, I mean, there was a reason I asked for the question. So when you say the other side, Spec, can you point at it for us? Do you know
What
what
you
she's
talking about?
talking
Do you want me to
about?
go get that
It's
big
the
thing
old
in your
parking
office, the
lot.
plat?
You talking
The
about here?
plan?
No, I'm talking on the other
Around
side of
here?
the, yeah, come on.
Oh,
See all the way around where the old mite field, somewhere on the other side, can we access this stuff? Or is that not gonna happen?
Well, like I said, you got your maintenance building somewhere, let's see, that's your concession
It's-
stand.
yeah.
Maintenance building should be right here somewhere, and that's the old field. But like I said, when we have our games, we have a golf cart takes people in and out.
Yeah, but,
But see, we don't work for the school, so we can't
Yes,
get them
sir.
out. But we towed our people in and out, we even towed our people in at Ben Park.
yes, sir. I understand that. And
Yeah.
and you've always been very generous with the
Right.
school. You are very, because you work those fields for the school. You do. I mean, it's a wonderful thing you do. I'm just saying, grandparents would love to see their grandbabies play ball.
Yeah.
I got a question. So when we first designed this, from what I'm hearing, and I was not familiar with all this, it was different design than currently what we have right now, and it was more pleasing to the people could get access to these fields. Do we currently have those plans, and can we look at them, and what kind of cost are we talking about? Or they're not, we can't consider them anymore because we built onto this? Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We had a plan.
There's a set of plans that somebody drew up years ago.
Well, I would recommend
Yeah.
if that would alleviate some of the thing, and we can currently do it, you know, at least look and see what kind of costs we're looking at.
Right.
That's just,
Well, and the one that couple years ago, they brought before us, it was taking out all of that asphalt, or
walkway there.
rock and putting a walkway, but you still had to walk
Yeah,
that
you still
far.
had, you still had to go ways to walk, but it'd have been a lot better, walking on a concrete or whatever that rock road is, but Yeah, it's a long walk, but like I said, I don't know how you alleviate the problem, but how the field's built there. You know, everybody wants to, we fence this off right here to keep people from having to ride down here. But you got a concession stand and a bathroom right here. You got kids running across these fields, this concession stand every day night going to this football field. Somebody gonna get run over. And it ain't gonna be on my time. I can tell you that right now. Because I'm not glad to deal with a kid getting run over. But that's why we put this gate here. Because these people fly up and down this road. It don't matter how many speed bumps you put, and these cars are parked all in here. You can't see no kids when you run out. So that's why we put a gate right there, eliminate all that. That's why we paved this and put it over here to eliminate some of this traffic going through there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
that's the problem we had, and Kevin, you were here, is that, people got so used to driving down there, parking at the field. It's not so much that is your grandparents going to see their kids, because he runs a golf cart to take them down there. It's the other people that don't want to walk down there. That's the problem. And that's how it got dropped, because he closed that off. And as he said,
This right here at the junior boys field, we used to have a playground right here, and this is our basketball court. But this right here used to be a bog pit. This is where everybody did the donuts at and had bog time and all that. Well, all this right now is grass. We cut this right now. But if you leave that thing back open, you have more vandalism. They drive on the fields. They'll make this right here the Indianapolis Speedway. That's how we've called them that before.
And
until we block this gate off.
somebody's child gonna get hit going
Oh,
across
yeah.
there. So that's why.
But before we put that gate up, that track right there, they would ride around on their cars just as fast as they can go.
So even if you park way over here, I mean, you still gonna run a golf cart to take
Oh,
the
yeah.
people who need it to go over there.
The parks, like I said, it's 40 years old. It's out of date. It's not up to, it's not like being parked. This thing, I played on these fields when I was growing up. It's just how the thing was put out back then. You didn't have all these issues of what you got these days, like back in the old days.
Right.
The park's just built backwards. It's not even confirmed. It's not. The fields are facing the wrong way. They just all backwards. But that's what we got to deal with.
But we need that place blocked off, because if not, it's dangerous.
It is.
I suspect even if we paved that parking lot over there, still wouldn't eliminate that fence, right?
No, sir. You still have that fence right there because, if this is gonna be paved right here, because you don't want these people driving up on this football field, because this is where all the little kids warm up at. All you have is just walk-throughs, a little walk-through place where they can walk through. Because see, the bleachers sit on this side, so a lot of people don't sit over there. They'll park right here and walk to these bleachers. So a lot of people really don't park here. Maybe your officials and some of your coaches, but most of your parents that's gonna watch the game, they can either put their little chairs here and watch it, or they're gonna walk right to these bleachers. They're not gonna walk all the way around. They're gonna do the shortcut.
The section that's not shown in that picture, that's below where your maintenance shop is,
Right down here somewhere.
yeah, that field back there, does people park there at all?
No.
Is it because it's not convenient, or?
But like I said, we got a maintenance shop here, and I think it comes off this road here somehow. But it's back here somewhere, because it's the junior girls field. It probably sits about right here.
Yeah.
And like I said, you just got woods there, and we got a batting cage right here. And we got another one behind this field here, so there's really no room to put parking on this side unless you fence it all off and put it right in the middle.
Spec, let me ask you this, and I know you're gonna get to it in a minute, but that green area that you've kinda got set aside for the pickleball courts. Okay, come to the right a bit, that would be a natural parking area for those pickleball courts.
Yes, this is, right here from this line to about right there, that's your handicap parking.
Alright, but, so, I guess what I'm driving at is so like out here on the outside of the arc of the green, down towards that soccer field, right in there, yeah.
They can park there.
If you made that parking, then can they walk in
There-
between those four
yes,
fields
yes,
from there
there's
in?
There's a walkway in between this field right here, yes.
So that would be a
Yes,
little
they
shorter,
can
obviously.
park, because like I said, we did play middle school ball on this field here, but it was too big for them, and they griped and complained, so we had to put them back down here, because, you didn't have to walk far, and they could park right here behind the field, but the school didn't want to play there. I said, so this field's useless, so we brought the fence in where we can play our own kids here, give us another field to play on, and then the middle school plays down here. And then this gives us all this room here, yes, you can park all back here. That's excess parking. So, but you only, like I said, you can come in off this road here, and there's a little dirt road down here somewhere that you can come in because, so you got your multi-purpose field somewhere down here, and you can park all alongside it, so.
Okay.
How big is that area that Mr. Drawley's talking about?
This
there?
green area?
Yeah, the parking area
Well,
there.
Behind the green area.
Behind here?
Yeah.
It's pretty big now, because see, we had the fence, we moved this fence in, this fence used to be like 330 feet.
Yeah.
So it went way back here, so it really didn't have much parking back there. Now, since we moved this fence into where the white area is, you got all this right here, but this is where we plan on putting our pickleball courts. But like I said, you got plenty of room back there for parking, and like I said, you got plenty of parking right here along this road before you get out there, and this whole area is parking. And like I said, you got that, but a lot of people don't park there because they want to get these bleachers.
I think it's important for people, seniors, I am one, to be able to park within a reasonable distance from a field. But will the fence interfere if we put a fence up, or we're gonna have to take it down to do some paving?
No, I don't think so. I think you can come off, because we won't keep this all grass anyhow, so I believe you can just butt up to this fence and pave your parking lot, because all this won't be paving, it'd just be probably half of this. It'd be about 4 rows of parking. Like I said, this is not really a big used parking lot. It is used a little bit, but like I said, this is your main one down here.
Okay.
And then right here around this field, but like I said, it's not used a whole lot because the bleachers is on this side and your concession stands, so they like parking here and walking through right here, or they can sit in the chairs right there. So this is the main parking lot. And like I said, this is a parking lot, but it's not full all the time, like the other one is, when we have events there.
Okay. So I open the floor for a motion to accept the low bid of $27,580 on the chain link fence.
I make that motion, and that's from Kingdom Fencing.
Yes.
Sure.
You second? Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
That comes out of SPOS.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Miss Beck, give me those back.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, the other item, Beck, is the lighting.
The lighting, yes, sir, like I said, we got all this lit. This parking, this track here is well lit. When they did this new track, there is zero lighting out there. You walk at dark, you can see them down here because of the lighting. Like I said, I think it's time for us to light this area here. It'll give us more light around our office up here. And down here in this corner is very dark. That's where the little walkway to the soccer field. So I think they want to put like 6 lights out through this area here, spread them out. Then I think we're going to put 2 or 3 lights in our parking lot, because our new parking lot hasn't been lit. And that'll give us some light there, because, our track's used every day. I mean, in the morning, you got to pack the people. At night, and I just think it'd be a little bit safer with this fence and the lighting around this track to accommodate these people that want to walk at night. But like I said, then you don't think you got to worry about people pulling down there, on your track. The fence is gonna help too, but like I said, you just don't never know what's gonna happen down there in the dark, so.
Is this gonna have a timer on it? Cause I get a lot of calls when the lights are left on at some of the ball fields at
Yeah.
night.
No, these will come on at dark,
Okay,
just like the regular street lights, and then they go off at night. Go off in the morning daylight.
okay.
I think these same ones we got now, like them LEDs. And like I said, we got 3 of them in our soccer parking lot, and our soccer parking lot is bigger than that there, and that lights up pretty good, so they're gonna put 3 there, and I think it should light it up pretty good. Like I said, it's used, and it's dark down here in this corner by our office, so, we got street lights in our parking lot, but it just don't light that pond up.
And the LEDs don't cost a tenth of what the old
But,
ones
I mean,
cost.
things- yeah, but
Right.
if you have more ones right now, you can't even get parts to fix them, because they ain't making them no more. I mean,
Respect.
Sir?
All right, so what I'm looking at, there's no upfront cost, is that correct? And it's just a monthly fee of
Well-
$884.10?
Commissioner, that was the part I was gonna bring up. So, so initially Georgia Power gave Mr. Eccles, two recommendations of $20,000 down, or either you put nothing down, and as you can imagine, if you put no money down, then your monthly cost is like $1,000 and some odd dollars. Put 20,000 down, it goes, your monthly cost goes down. She gave us, I wanted one more, option, and so she sent spec, and I put it on y'all's desk. We didn't have it in time for the books going out, but, Mr. Eccles got a hold to her, Georgia Power sent it to us, and if you put 38,000 down, we could recoup our money in 5.7 years, and it would be $495 a month. Important to me only because of cash flow, and that's what I think about is cash flow. And so that would help us from the standpoint of, instead of having a $1,000 bill every month for the life of this. And that includes a maintenance program that they'll do, obviously, and then installing everything as well. And it's also SPOS
And the
money.
initial cost would come out of,
SPOS, yes, sir.
but to keep it going
Would
would come out of the
general
general
fund,
so
that
it
is
makes it more
correct.
better for us to get the cheaper rate.
Yep, in my opinion, yes,
I
sir.
would say that's good business.
Yep. But those are y'all's options for y'all to decide on that point, if you decide to go with the lights.
I would make a motion that we would go with put the most amount down with the least amount of payment.
So that would be the 38,000 down?
Yes, sir.
And $495.24 a month.
Yes, sir.
400 would come out of general fund, which
Yes,
is
sir.
taxpayer money.
That's correct.
Second that motion. Second that motion.
The 38,000 would come out of what, SPOS?
Yes, sir.
Plus.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. Thank you, Chuck. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. You gotta talk
Pickleball.
about the most important thing. No, seriously, Spec mentioned it, and he's been getting calls burning him up about it, which is great. It's good.
I think, I know I've talked to Jamie about this, I'm Commissioner Hickox, but, since we moved this fence in, we got a lot of area out here, and, pickleball is a big growing sport. It's taking off. It's gonna probably be a recreation sport for these kids in a couple of years, and I think everybody plays it. I have got phone call after phone call after phone call. I think they heard it on the radio about being on the meeting. But these people has called me, and then, this, I think it's for everybody. It's for people my age, old people, and young people, and whoever wants to play this thing. And these doctors are playing, and evidently they run out of space to play. But since we moved this fence in, I got an area right here that I can put 4 pickleball courts. The lights is already there. All we gotta do is put a cement pad down, buy us a net, they can have that. Like I said, I know they just built one in Scriven, I think Mary Weaver just got one, I think they got 2 or 3 here in town, but it's a big event. These people, I don't know, I hadn't played it, but everybody wants to do it.
I haven't either, but I'm getting calls as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, but like I said, since we moved that in, you can't, you can put a pickleball court anywhere you wanna put it, but it's not gonna be lit. With the lights there, we already have that ball field, with the fence moved in, we said, that'd be a perfect location for this, and it's easy access, you can put your court right here. You can put 4 courts right here, light will be on top of it, and they can park right there, they can walk right here, they got a bathroom right there. I think it's a no-brainer, but
That green area is about 100 foot wide, except for where you get to the apex, obviously. But so, I mean, there's,
the price I got today, this is just a rough estimate, but that's your pickleball court. It's like 44 foot by 20 foot. So you got to have a little bit of of play, you know, across the edge of your court. We did a 60 by 100 slab today. Just measured it out, called some cement people, and asked them how much it'll cost. It's gonna be 4 inches thick. A 60 by 80 is gonna run us about $25,000. And that's putting 4 courts on, out there on this thing. Other than that, you get you some paint, you paint your little areas, put up a net, play ball.
Mr. Girardi, I know that the Recreation Department has money available in their budget for that. Is that what you would recommend?
I would, because look, I haven't played it yet, but I was at Exchange Club. I'll still inspect this. I was at Exchange Club a couple of weeks ago, and Ray Moore and I were sitting there, and Ray said, "Paul, have you played pickleball yet?" I said, "No, Ray, I hadn't." And he was just going on and on about it. I mean, and everybody that I've talked to absolutely loves it. So I've got to try it. But yeah, I mean, just like Spec said, I mean, I'm telling you, everybody that I know that's played it absolutely loves it. And, you know, especially for folks, Mike, getting our age, that, you know, that's what Ray said. It's not bad on your joints. You're moving, but you're not. Yeah.
Can you play in a chair?
Yeah, I go to the grocery store or wherever I'm at, somebody will stop me. Hey man, when the pickleball court getting built?
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It's a project, but I think it'll go good there, like I said, because man, you got your lights there, everything's right there. It's gonna be convenient for them to get there. And you know, you build something new, they're gonna come. You know, them jokers gonna be there. So.
I think it's worth the investment. We have the money to do it in SPLOST. And it's like Spec said, as fast as this thing's growing, I mean, they've got like professional teams now. You know, we went on a cruise and they literally had the cruise and pickleball teams where they were on the cruise to do nothing but play pickleball, and that was it. So I wouldn't be shocked that state recreation did come out and eventually next year or two. So we would be ready for it if it did. So
That's right. You know, like I said, Paul, if you want to push it back to that old ball field.
oh yeah.
You know, we still got room over here if we ever want to expand this pickleball court.
Yeah.
We still got room for probably 6 or 7 more, but we're gonna start off with 4 here, but this thing going around, so, you know, we got plenty of room to do it. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna probably take off. Like I said, it's gonna probably be pretty big, but everybody I've talked to, run into, they want pickleball courts, so I'm here to put it in front of you.
So you're saying that would come out of SPLOST?
Yes, sir. It'll be part of recreation improvement. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's already big.
Oh, why not?
It's already big. It's
Yeah, the city's already had to expand their courts, yeah.
Just like I said the other day.
Everybody, like I said, everybody around the county that's got tennis courts, they only got like 1 tennis court on there now, and the rest of us pickleball courts. You know, I know they've done it in Appleton County, they've done it in Jeff Davis. You know, it's running wild. These people, you know, they complaining over there in Appleton County because they ain't got enough court. Man, so you know, what you want us to do, we trying the best we can do. You know, you just can't just close down tennis because of pickleball, but you know, that's what they do. It's just not Wayne County, it's all over. So.
Well, who would have thought badminton would be an Olympic sport?
I agree with that. So.
I entertain a motion to accept or accept the pickleball court for the price of what you say, Spec, 25?
Yes, sir, 100 by 60 was 25, right at 25,000.
And you still got painting and netting
I
and,
don't think that paint's gonna cost a whole lot, and we looked at some nets, and I think you can do that whole thing for less than $100.
You're gonna fence that, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, we're gonna eventually fence it. We might keep people from riding on.
Oh, but even the ball's going crazy.
Oh, yeah, you don't wanna go halfway down the road and get your ball. No, ma'am.
Exactly, yeah. Fence it.
We're gonna eventually fence it, but like I said, we wanna get the layout first, and like I said, we're gonna do it big enough where you can put a fence around it, and you still got plenty of area for you to play in. Like I said, it'll be handicap accessible, you know, your gates and all that, so, you know, we're gonna do it right if we're gonna do it, so it should be nice.
So my understanding is just for the concrete and to get the layout is roughly around 25,000. The nets and stuff are pretty significant.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Hickox brings up a good point about later on, we're talking about doing the fencing.
Well, like I said, I wanna go ahead, I wanna
would
go
say,
ahead.
well, we got the fencing company there.
I'm gonna get me a price on it. And then, like I said, I got something for Kevin too, I didn't get with Paul today, but, yeah, about this fence and stuff, like I said, when he comes out there to lay this thing here out, we can tell him, give us a price on doing that.
So Chairman, so basically right now what I'm hearing is we're entertaining the thought for him to go ahead and proceed on with the 25,000 to get it done, and then later on he can bring back maybe the next meeting on what it's gonna take for the fencing and stuff?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Is that what the motion about?
Yes.
Have you got a motion?
No, I haven't.
You have one now.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
So you got fence, you got lights, and you got pickleball.
And you gonna get us a price on the fence before they start doing donuts on the new concrete?
Sorry.
Are you
Well,
gonna,
I got, yes, ma'am.
are you gonna stay for the rest of the meeting?
You want me to?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go give me something, I'll just- one more thing before about this fence stuff. I went out, I've been riding the leg race out there, and on the bathroom side, we got them little poles up. Man, that traffic in there is bad. I'm thinking about getting a guy to come and give me a frost and putting a fence there, and then putting some big old gated building where the cameras can get in there. But I went out there, I think it was Sunday, man, them people riding all over the place out there.
You talking about where the,
Bathrooms and the pavilions is at.
They're crossing where those, because I saw the sheriff's department come out there and run them off
And that-
Sunday
them
or
poles-
Saturday. They're pulling down to the lake.
Right.
Yeah, they
Way
pull them
to
down
the
and
lake.
unload, and they stay in there. We got signs up, that don't mean nothing, but I think that's gonna be our next bet, is to see if we can get us a fence out there and put us some walkthroughs at your bathrooms and your pavilions, but, if somebody's got them pavilions rented on Saturday or Sunday, and the people down there pulling in there, that's a hard thing to deal with, so,
And we
Well,
don't have anybody out there anymore?
no, ma'am.
well, and they've been going around those posts for years.
Oh, I know, like I said, but I just.
But it's getting worse.
It is, like I
Okay.
said, I just now noticed the last couple times I've been out there, and so I think next meeting I come to, when I go ahead and get that pickleball fence, we, see what we can do with that out there, cause like I said, it's.
You talking about like a 4-foot fence just to
Yeah,
keep
just
them
look-
from
just to
driving?
keep them riding, and then, have your walkthroughs where you can get to your bathrooms, but you
Right.
still got to pour them trash cans out and stuff like that. But just to keep them four-wheelers out, them side-by-sides, and them people's cars, So, but I reckon we'll talk about it next meeting. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Spec.
Thank you.
Line item C, 10C, consider approved bids for vehicles for road department. Mr. Grotti.
You can see in your books, and it's on the screen, if you can see it well, it's kind of small, but the road department is requesting 2 Ford F-150 4x4s, crew cab, and then 1 F-350 4x2 regular cab chassis. Because I think, and Kevin McReady can help me with this, on the 350 regular cab chassis, they've got a flatbed body that they currently have. They're going to redo it and put it on that chassis. They've reached out and got 4 different bids from Enterprise, J.C. Lewis Ford, Woody Folsom Ford, and Mike Birch Ford. And you can see that Mike Birch is your lowest, and that's the recommendation they're making.
Is this coming out of SPOS?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm sorry.
I open the floor for a motion.
I make a motion, we accept the lowest bid of $140,055.40 from Mike Birch Ford.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
I had the opportunity to go to the road department this last week. And I know for the people who hear us month after month spending money on the road department, I saw the flatbed that's gonna go on the one truck, but I actually saw a pickup truck that has no business being on the road. It has no dashboard in it. It has, and these folks use this, what they do is amazing, because you all have sat here and watched me not know what this machine was and that machine. I know what all the machines are now. But I'm sure I could pull a ditch with a little help from Mr. Kevin, I'm kind of saying. Anyway, we spend a lot of money on the road department, but the work they do is those dirt roads are, and they do it sometimes with just ill equipment. This is really, really money that needs, it's necessary money that needs to be spent.
So true.
I think if I could piggyback on that, Commissioner Hickox, I believe you're right, because, we do, as a local government, spend a lot of money on the road department, but it's mainly because, one piece of equipment can be $300,000. And I've seen them go after those big pieces of equipment that they need to do their job and then sacrifice when it comes to the less expensive equipment like this. I know Mr. McReady and I were talking about it, and, on the vehicles they got where you've kind of got like an assigned driver, they typically will last a pretty long time, but on those vehicles where you've got different people every day jumping in them to run, go do whatever, yeah, I've seen the pictures with the no dashboard, seats tore up, and so yeah, and because they're some of them are 1990 model vehicles, and they've still got them running. So,
And this is a perfect example. A lot of people complain about the SPLOST and where the money's spent and things like that. We're spending it on the road department. If we did not have the SPLOST, which this will come out of SPLOST 4, correct?
yes, sir, that's
And
correct.
if we did not have that, this money would have to come out of general fund, because Commissioner Hickox stated, they don't need to be on the road, so we would have to actually get this from general fund tax money, and you have to go up to compensate for this. You're talking about a lot of money, but we are able to use the SPLOST funding to fund this and get them equipment, fencing, whatever it is to make our county better.
Well, Commissioner, we are blessed now, it's better than it was, because used to, we had to depend on the state to pave roads, and you gotta pave it a certain width and have a certain right of way. Now that we have TIA, we can pave it at the width we want to, and we get a lot more paving done. But then again, too, people don't realize how many miles of unpaved road that they maintain every month. What is it, close to 500 now, or is it more?
492. Yeah, 492, I think.
492?
Yes, sir.
We've got more unpaved roads in a lot of counties, and they maintain them every month and do a great job. And
Yes, they do.
people come here to watch and see what they do because they do such a good job.
Yeah.
And so, at one time, we had 9 motor graders. What we got now? Huh? Yeah, so we had that, and I think at one time we had 2 ditch pullers, so it takes a lot.
Yeah.
And they do a great job.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Brandon Purcell, you have the floor, sir. Brandon's gonna talk to us about some subdivisions.
The first one we'll talk about, this is the Dairyland Acres Mobile Home Subdivision. It's located off of, it's not over there, or actually it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
It should be that, yeah.
It's right here, this is Old Doctortown Road.
Yeah.
It's an existing mobile home subdivision, it currently has 25 lots in it. The new owner, Low Country Homes, he wants to expand the subdivision, to 49 total lots out there, or 47 total lots out there.
What is it currently known as?
Dairyland Acres.
It's always been Dairyland.
It's always been Dairyland
Yes, sir.
Acres. Currently, it's one big parcel. He wants to subdivide it, so he can sell the lots, even the existing ones. This went through a review with environmental health, our building department, and engineering, all was in concurrence. And basically, I'm bringing it for y'all, just per our ordinance, the review, see if y'all have any comments, questions, or any reason we should deny it. It'll be served by a community well system. It's going through the EPD approval cycle now. The roads will be paved to county standards. Before he gets a final plat, so he can sell anything, it'll be paved. And septic systems, individual septics for each one.
Is that to the new standards?
To the new standards.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So he's gonna pay it.
He's gonna pave it,
Good.
with the intention that the county would take it over once it's paved.
Over, once it's over half
Yeah,
sold.
yeah, which, he's already got 25 lots in there, so we're at that point right now. So as soon as it's paved, we will make the motion to take over, the roads.
Tell me this, is a pet peeve of mine.
Yes, sir.
This paving, I I know we set new standards.
Yes.
We've inherited some of this stuff where the counties had to put a lot of money out because these paved roads were not paved according to the standards. And when we inherit them, we basically gotta go back and repave them. Who's gonna be the person that says, okay, and hold this contractor accountable to say, yes, you're gonna meet these requirements? Who is that?
That's me. I'm gonna make sure it's paid correctly first.
You done, so.
My intention on this is whenever we go to pay, we do inspections. One at a time, we do the base. We'll walk it down, it's called proof roll. Basically, you get a loaded dump truck down, you'll go down one lane, and you'll come down the other side and see if there's any movement in pavement. We're gonna make them meet our current standards. It's gonna be 6-inch GAB and 1.5 inch asphalt. And then we'll do the same thing when he does the rock. We'll go behind it with the same thing, walk it twice, make sure there's no movement in it. That should be acceptable. That's normally what the general standard is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the full intention. When they get out there to do it, we go inspect behind it, or I'll go inspect behind it, just make sure it meets it. I'd like to do that for all subdivisions, just so we know what we're getting for ones that we're intending to take over, or ones that they say we won't, but we eventually do anyways. But,
Yeah, I'm very familiar with this property. That's Sand Hill out there.
oh, and if you rode through there, it's awful.
Oh, I've rode through there many times. It's awful.
It is.
So let me get this clear. So we would accept it once you get it half filled? Is that what? The subdivision?
Yeah, well, our ordinance says that it reverts back to us once they sell half of the properties, and you're saying he already has 25 sold?
He's got 25 lots out there, so we'll need to sell them. And he
Okay.
said, talking with the owner, he said he's got a lot of people asking for it. The ones that are living there and other ones coming in, it looks like it'll be pretty soon when he'll be able to do this.
So once they sell them, then we just take ownership of it?
So then we'll be responsible for paving the rest of it?
No, sir.
No.
It'll all be finished
Oh, okay.
and complete, and
It's
Brandon's gonna
basically
be
a new subdivision.
responsible.
So the
Okay.
whole thing has to be paid before we even consider
Well,
taking it
good,
over.
because I know I made that motion years ago, that they pave it,
That's right.
and, because I couldn't understand, well, Seminole Woods, perfect example. Somebody came in here and cut those lots up, ran a motor grader across it, they didn't do nothing else, and then left. And within a year, about 100 people up here wanting the road paved.
As our plan is to not give him final plat until it's paved and pinned, the lots are pinned, the whole 9 yards.
Right, okay, I'm good.
Is any kind of drainage or anything requirements on this?
It'd be roadside ditches coming back to Old Doctortown Road. There, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. There's a fairly large sized ditch that cuts all the way from 84. It comes on back to the back toward the railroad tracks.
Yep.
Most of the drainage will go to that direction, currently as it does right now.
Yep.
I can't see it from here, Brandon. Is that 84 right behind it?
Yes, sir, that's 84 right here.
Yeah,
So 84, Old Doctortown Road.
okay.
So that has just been cleared?
This over here is, this parcel line name is not exactly right. It actually comes over further. But this, he's written out there and timbered it.
That's what we
Hasn't done anything else with it since then.
Yeah.
That's now in my district. I walked through it when I was campaigning.
Open floor for a motion to approve or accept.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll
Have a
second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
All right, I got one more for you. This is, after
Brandon,
investment.
if you don't mind, because these are two plats that are photos that I did not give the commissioners. Can you take the right hand and just turn it just a little bit? It's the glare.
Yes,
Yes, right
thank
there.
you.
Perfect, perfect. The glare coming off the window.
This subdivision is a Flint Branch duplex subdivision, would be the name of it. Iker Investment Group is gonna be the developer. This is Empire Road, Flint Branch Church Road. Basically, Iker Investment Group owns these 4 parcels. What he wants to do is subdivide it and put duplex, 9 duplex lots out there. Each half the duplex will have its own septic system, and it'll be served by an EPD community water system. And I don't know if we got the plat on it or not. basically there'll be 3 lots here, and then the other 6 lots will face Flint Branch Church Road. There will be no new roads. It'll all just face existing county roads.
We have them in our book.
Okay. This also went through the review cycle, environmental health approved, building code approved, and engineering approved. Any questions or concerns on this one? I'm happy to answer.
Is there already an EPD well out there, or
No,
is
sir,
that?
there's 3, or no, there's 2 existing wells, and a neighbor parcel has a well on it, but the plan is to abandon the 2 existing on site. They're just residential wells, just abandon them where they're at. And then a community well will serve the 9 lots, and with the option of serving a back parcel that the Iker Investment Group is keeping in the company name. They're not selling the back lot.
So you say there's no new roads that would have to be put?
No, sir. It'll all the duplexes will face the existing either Empire or Flint Branch.
Okay, what about the sewage pipes and stuff that's gonna have to go down? He's gonna be responsible for that?
Everything
Yeah,
will be
they're
responsible for.
Put septic tanks down.
There'll be septic, but there will be community water, so the
Right.
water will be fed, and it's hard to see, but the community water is gonna be in the back of the lots, and then it'll feed out to Flint Branch, and it'll also feed down to Empire. And
What
this,
about culverts and stuff where you're coming off the road?
he's gonna have, there's a good, off of Empire Road.
Yep.
There's a good sized ditch right through there, and he'll have to culvert this. Flint Branch, the edge of right of way and the edge of road are almost on top of each other. So there is a gentle swell going into his property. It's on his property though. It's not in the county right of way. So everything, and it's hard to see, but everything falls back. There's a big wetland right here. Everything falls back to here, and the plan is for everything to fall back to that wetland.
And the point I'm
Great.
trying to make, and you've explained it very well, I just don't wanna say, okay, we're gonna do this, and then the county 5 years from now, we gotta go do this and that and that. So just I'm taking your word.
Yes, sir.
That he's gonna meet the requirements that we've set forth, so the county don't have excess paying that we have to do.
Yes, sir.
Once this has been implemented.
Yeah, and his plan is to have each half, I think it's a 20-foot wide concrete driveway coming from the edge of pavement all the way up to the duplex.
That makes sense now. Now it's making sense. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the Flint Branch duplex subdivision.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
I recuse myself from this vote.
The next item is F, consider approved minimum bid for property. What I'd like to do is to table there was 2 properties that we were gonna recommend reduction on. I'd like to table those 2. And do I need a motion to table those?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to table those until,
Which 2 are
it's, the,
J 14-6 and J 12-99.
Okay, I make that motion that we table that.
okay.
So we're gonna leave those amounts at the same? Okay.
I think, I know we're not to the discussion part yet, but our broker kind of indicated that she had bids coming in on those, and so if we could keep them at the price that they are instead of lower them, I think
Okay,
we'll probably have a chance to get
so
some
we'll table
offers
them
in.
until next meeting?
Table those two to
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't think she's had any calls on the other ones yet.
And there are 3 pieces of property, the J 22-37.
You got a
Oh,
motion?
I'm sorry, we got a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Okay, so this motion is to table J 14-6 and J 12-99, correct?
Right.
Okay. Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
And it's to table reducing those prices.
Yes.
Yes. The next item is to, the Realtor has given us minimum bids they think the property should be listed at. Minimum bid, J 22-37-384 and S 2-70 and 93-17. You have the minimum bids there, 300,000, 1,000, and 20,000. We need to accept those minimum bids. And I'll make a motion, we accept those bids. Do I have a second?
Yes, sir.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
It's $300,000 on the Holiday Inn. I think that's a little low, in my personal opinion.
Well,
I'm just saying. I would-
That's the old Holiday Inn?
That's the old Holiday Inn.
It's almost 5 acres.
Yeah, I do too.
That's way too low for me, in my personal opinion.
what, do you have a recommendation?
I would say, we talked to the realtor that one time about it, I would say at least 375.
When
Well,
do we talk to the Realtor about it?
I talked to a realtor about the value of it.
Oh, we didn't do it as a board?
No.
Oh, okay,
If hypothetically speaking.
okay.
well, we can change that figure but what this is saying is it's a minimum bid. They cannot bid any lower than 300.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It is, and I was just gonna say, now, this is the minimum bid recommended by the Realtor.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but what I'm saying is that don't mean we have to accept it, right? That's just a minimum bid? Or is that what we're saying that we're willing to accept?
That's the minimum bid we're willing to accept.
Right, so when you
Yes.
vote on it, you know, 300,000, that's what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
I personally just think that property is worth a lot more.
And then, Mr. Thomas, are you gonna withdraw your second?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Consider approve agreement with Health Department to administer influenza vaccine for employee health fair. This has been done in the past, from what I understand. We're just saying it's okay to administer flu vaccines to employees.
Yes.
Yes, sir,
That's
that's correct.
correct.
At the health fair. They
Yeah.
can, we will offer them to them and
Right.
through the health.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'm on that board, and this is a reoccurring. It's,
Good.
they do a great job, so I suggest we approve it.
You making that a motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Next item is H. Consider approve MOU for water sewer for Board of Education, Ag Building. We're not ready for that, from what I understand. We've been asked to table this to another date. Is it, and Madam Clerk, I'm asking, should I table, or do you want me to to remove it from the agenda until a later date, because we don't know when this is gonna come back up.
Let's just table to remove it to a later date
Okay,
instead of just tabling it to the next meeting.
yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion, we remove it until a later date.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Letter I, consider approve changing the July meeting. It's a situation where we need a little extra time. We're having the bondsman get bids, is that the appropriate word for the SPLOST 5?
They'll get ready at that point to actually put the bonds out for sale.
Yeah.
And so that first week in July, we meet on, our meeting date is July 1. And so pretty much two things. One, our bond attorney, John Purnell, will be out of touch that entire week. He also says that the majority of these folks that purchase these bonds, that's when a lot of these top finance folks, they also take vacation during that first week of July. So we would have better offerings basically that second week of July. So that's what he wants to move it back to. So one of the things he said is he requested from me to talk to the chairman about in reference to either having a called session or called meeting, or if we could move our meeting from July 1 to July 8.
So if they're gonna be gone that first week, are they gonna be back?
Be ready for July 8th.
According to him, yes. I mean, that's who I'm, so they have to, whenever we do all the paperwork on that meeting date, and Mr. Beaver, Mike can help me some with this, they've got, at least Raymond James does, I believe it's Raymond James, that has 24 hours to verify the prices. And so that's the folks that they're gonna be talking to, is to make sure and verify those prices. And that they're supposed to be, the way he talked like there would be some there that first week. But there would be more, obviously, the second week, because most of these folks do take vacation the first week of July through July 4.
So we'll have something to look at on the 8th, or we will approve it on the 8th, and then the 9th, they'll give us the numbers. How does that work?
No, I think on the 8th, what'll happen is if we set the meeting for the 8th, then Monday morning, he'll get the information.
Okay.
In other words, it just has to be within 24 hours of y'all's meeting.
So we won't have them in advance for our books.
No, we
really
will
don't
not.
want them in advance because the sales
It's
price
so
may go,
quick.
it's so fluid right there before.
Okay,
That you may get an offer right before
Yeah.
the meeting to approve it.
like the Board of Education did.
Right.
I got you, okay.
Now, the bond validation hearing itself will actually be on the 12th.
Yeah.
So pending approval there, we'll have this set for the 9th.
Looking at your schedule, I hope this works for everyone, but I'll make a motion, we move the July meeting to July the 8th.
I second.
I have a motion, second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Still gonna be at 6 PM?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. Letter J, consider approve replacing sheriff vehicle. It's my understanding that we had a vehicle that was totaled a while back, and we got a check. Need to replace one. You gotta have approval to do that, and all the equipments can come out of the old one and go into the new one, but we may have to come up with $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000. Is that,
All the old equipment with the vehicle that we've recommended buying, all the equipment out of the old vehicle go into it. 95% of it be taken care of out of the old vehicle.
And so that was also part of the,
This will save money buying that.
that part of the papers that I put on y'all's desk. Deputy Chief Hargrove wanted to wait till this morning. The sheriff's office has done a lot of business with Chicago Motors in the past. They've got some real good deals, and Chicago Motors have backed up what minor issues they've had with vehicles. And so what's good about this case is, and you can see this is the vehicle that was totaled on the Chatham Parkway when the drunk driver hit Deputy Cummins. So that vehicle's totaled, but what the sheriff did is they took all the equipment out of it. So if they go back and get these, you'll see these three, they range anywhere from $17,000 to basically $19,000. They are used vehicles, but it's 2018s and 2019s, but that's the key, is that all that equipment will fit this, so they don't have to go repurchase equipment, and it's, you know, it never gets used again, so.
So my understanding is we got an insurance payment on this because it's totaled out. We're gonna take that money, buy equivalent vehicle, which it doesn't require any kind of upgrades or anything on the equipment. And all we need to do is, today is vote on, give them permission to go buy this vehicle.
Right, I think we got back, because with our deductible, we got back around 14,000,
I think that's
Amanda?
right,
Seems
yes.
like it's what we talked about. And then this vehicle's gonna be somewhere around $19,000, so that's what the chairman was talking about when he talked about, you know, we'll just, between what the insurance paid us and then, adding $5,000 or $6,000 to it.
Chairman, you need a motion?
Yes.
I make,
Are we gonna,
you see which
we
one?
gonna pick one?
I say do a range.
I'll tell you what my thoughts were. Well, Sheriff, you wanna speak to it?
The thing is these vehicles were actually there today, but we don't know which one will be there.
Oh.
We go to buy.
So my thoughts,
Okay.
were if y'all can pick a range that'll be safe with them, because they're gonna get, and it's gonna be somewhere in this. You can see the year models they're looking at. They pulled 3 of them, or actually 4 of them. One was a duplicate of one of these vehicles that just had like 100 less miles or something. But so they have 4 of these vehicles. They're pretty confident that if it gets approved tonight, they can pull the trigger, because like, once again, Chicago Motors works with the sheriff well. All they got to do is call them and they'll hold it. It's just that they don't know which one will be there in the morning, is basically what it amounts to, so.
So do we have the insurance payment amount so that we can give you an actual number, or do we just wanna say $7,000 and that'll cover any of them?
I think that'll be fine. I mean, if y'all approve that, to spend the insurance money.
Does the insurance money have to go in our general fund, and then we gotta
That's where it went,
regurgitate it
yes.
back? So it would be, I would say around 20,500, 21,000, that gives them a little cushion.
I think that would be safe. If y'all give the sheriff the ability to spend up to $21,000 for this vehicle, that would be a safe way to go.
Is there a buy fee on top of that or anything? No.
We bought so many vehicles from them, I'm telling you, they love our business.
You need that in a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we, give them a budget of 21,000 to replace this vehicle.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes. You need to go make a phone call?
Wait in the morning, I got my cup of coffee.
DFAX Board, Susan Graham has, District 3 representative has resigned her term, effective, June 30th.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
I'd like to, I have talked to Ms. Autumn Starling, and she has graciously accepted, if that's okay. Can I make a motion?
Autumn,
Starling?
Starling.
Yes. She currently works with the DFAX, and, she's got a degree in sociology, I think it is.
okay.
Got a good bloodline, too.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
All right, on the Hospital Authority, 11B, Dr. Lance Hendricks' term expires June 30th, and he would like to stay on that board. But we have to submit 3 names.
Make that motion.
Excuse me?
I spoke with him, and I'll make the motion with the other names.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yep.
I got them right here,
You got
I
'em?
think. Yep.
Okay.
So I make the motion that we give them the 3 names of Dr. Lance Hendricks, Bobby Lamb, and Bill Freeman. And Dr. Hendricks did say he's willing to continue to serve, but they have the discretion of who they pick.
I will second that. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Go on the appointment for Hospital Authority, David Earl Keith, also a term expired June 30th. He is willing to serve another term. Again, we have to submit 3 names. So I make a motion that we submit the names of David Earl Keith, Keith Spell, and Raymond Brown.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
On 11D, Industrial Development Authority, Tommy Reddish, District 2 representative, resigned the term expiring 12/1 of 26. Would you like?
Yes, that's my district, and I'd like to appoint Kent Fountain on the Industrial Development Authority.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes. Item County Administrator.
I will try to go through these as quickly as possible, if you don't mind. The first one is an update on the election building, it's a request. When we first talked about the election building, I think the projected price was $200,000, and that was kind of the limit y'all had set in reference to building it. We are currently at $198,000. I'll give you exact. It's $198,590. 5,000 of that, there's about $14,000 of expenses that were kind of, I shouldn't say kind of, they were unexpected when we first talked about the building. When we got into the building process, and Kirk had mentioned that he thought it would be a good idea to put a floor up in that second ceiling so we could have storage space, because that's something we've always desperately in need of. So the material, Miss Hannah pulled out the material list, and that was about $5,000 additional dollars. The other part of it was for internet. I just kind of assumed we would run a DSL line over there, which we were going to do until Mr. Nick Harris with DTS come down and look at it. And he and Judge Thornton got together, and both of them agreed, and I agreed as well, that for the protection of our election system, the most safest route was to put a dedicated fiber line to that building. So it just runs to that building and nowhere else. That was an additional $8,000 that we didn't plan for. So there's about $13,000 there we didn't plan for. About the only thing we have left is, I think, the painting of the floor and the shelving on the inside for the where the voting machines are actually stored in that section. I think they've already got the flooring for the registrar's office, and he's already got it. So what I would like to request from y'all is an additional $14,000 to cover the rest of the expenditures that we'll need.
Isn't that within your limit?
Yes.
Well, well, I mean, it is, but I mean, I wanted y'all to know what was going on, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because technically we had set the limit for that building for $200,000, or we're at 198.
Right.
And so I just wanted y'all to know, we spent about 14,000 that we hadn't planned on. So if moving forward with finishing out for the materials for this other part, it would push us over the 200,000. So I just wanted to make y'all aware of it and to make sure y'all are okay with it.
I make a motion that we, approve the 14,000.
I second it.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes. Where are we at with, where is the money coming for handrails, handicap parking, cement to get us, you know, we all got an email about an accident, so how are we going to address the safety issues there?
And my thought on that, and I hadn't got with Mr., I think we talked about it one time earlier, was in reference to T-Splost or either Splost is new paving. Correct, Mr. Elton?
Splosh, I think, is what we're talking
Yes. So for new paving, to finish that paving all the way up to the building and then do the ramps and that type thing.
And
Come out of
rails?
Splosh. Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, we can put rails in if we need to.
Not off SPOS.
Can we
Voting building is not listed under SPOS. You could do that out of ARP, but you
Well-
can't do it out of SPOS.
For the handrails you're talking
Handrails.
Yes, for the
Yes.
handrails.
We're talking about handrails.
Okay, yeah, just for the handrails. That's correct.
Can we?
And Commissioner Hickox, the only reason I paused there was, and I'm happy to, if the commission wants handrails, that's fine, but technically it's a 6-inch rise, and that's a 5-inch rise on the pads out there, but we can still do handrails. It'd probably be the safest
The
way.
reason I mention it is, the number one voting demographic is over the age of 55.
Yes.
Handrails
Yes.
would be so
Okay.
thoughtful.
I agree.
Yeah, we talked about even before we started building the election building, that we would take the crepe myrtles out down the middle, patch that, resurface the parking lot, put up a flagpole so we can fly the American flag, and all these things that Commissioner Hickox mentioned about the handicapped and ramps and handrails, and but yeah, I think that's something that we definitely need to do.
Mr. Administrator, could we use some of the TIA money for the paving?
We can. My concern about that, just as an opinion, is that we need to reserve as much TIA money as we can for
Okay.
county roads because of the amount of maintenance. We paved a few more roads, but we're way behind where we need to be with funding each year to keep our roads current. We're in a sort of a losing ground situation.
Okay.
Where we're currently funded, so I'd recommend staying away from that if we could.
Gotcha.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
In reference to our capital, and I'm calling them capital projects, but it's our SPLOS projects. Just an update would be on the courthouse annex. I've talked with SP Design Group, Jimbo Boykin, and we're kind of still moving forward with that area. One of the next steps we'll have to do, and Brandon's helped me with the topographic survey. Thank you. Luckily, we already had one, so we're going to be able to give that to them, and that'll help in that regards. I've met with Mr. Steve Larson, the chair of the pool committee, on a couple of different occasions. He and Mickey Thomaston have submitted on behalf of the committee itself. They submitted the plans. They've submitted the idea for the pool to the University of Georgia capstone projects, where the seniors, if you're familiar with Autumn Hall Leisure and what they did, that same group, a group of seniors from UGA, take that on as a senior project. So they submitted that, I think, last week or the week before, and so, the hopes are, obviously, is that a group of seniors would take that project on, so that would be good. Spec and I have talked in reference to the community part of that pool, the gymnasium / community center. And he's gonna reach out to some folks where he knows that there's some at, so we're gonna ride and take a look at them and,
Can I be
kind of get an
involved in
idea.
that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Senior Center, I met, I think it was last week, with Miss Amy, Miss Shelley, and Miss Diane. And basically, I had them come into my office, and I gave them the old footprint. It's not the footprint that we didn't move forward on. I gave them that, and we talked about the issue of whether or not I don't think they had a whole lot of input in that original footprint. So what I wanted to do was ask them if y'all want to make any changes, you know, if you see an office here and you really don't need an office there. So they were pretty excited about that. We walked over to look at the election building, and they were really excited about the idea of moving forward with what the commissioners have talked about in reference to a metal building, that same 4,700 square foot, and let them design that inside, you know, kind of what they know what they need to serve the senior citizens. And so as soon as they get back with me on that, we'll finalize it and probably I might get Brandon to help me about, you know, maybe choosing somebody that can draw that up for us and start pricing it out. Get some prices. Building inspector interviews, we had our last one today. We had 2 good candidates, and I'm excited. Haven't made a choice yet, but I'm excited. So we're moving forward on that. I'm hoping that we'll be able to make an offer either this Wednesday or this Thursday on one of those candidates. So that's all I've got.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
In your book, you had the April 24 budget report compared to April 24 compared to April 23. The chairman called me after he received that and was asking why the expenditures were up so. So part of that is the ARP. So on your desk, I put without the ARP, and the revenues without the ARP for 2024 was $1,708,822.27, and 2023 was $1,424,202.48. Revenues are up from 2023 by 19.98%. And then expenditures for 2024 is $2,562,309.42, and 23, $1,950,323.82. And the expenditures are up from 2023 by 31.38%. It still was high after taking the ARP out. The difference is like $611,985.60 more than 2023 expenditures. Airport and health insurance, the total is like $680,965.52. Health insurance is $235,514.63 more in 2024 than 2023. And then your airport improvement grant for the security fence, we spent nothing in April of 23 for airport improvement, but in 2024 we spent $445,450.89. So if you back the total of both of those out from expenditures, in 2024 our expenditures are 3% less than 2023. Just kind of an explanation, because you had asked me about that, yeah. So, our fund balance as of May 31st, general fund is $5,355,103.82. Lost treasury is $10,351,992.82. Restricted accounts, SPLOST 4, $7,737,678.27. T-SPLOST, $5,919,279.50. American Rescue Plan, $2,909,047.40. And revolving loan fund, $307,286.50. And then also, just for y'all's information, I put the 2025 budget development calendar that Paul and I created. We expect to have the budget spreadsheets released to the departments by Friday, June 7th. And the budget's request due back June 28th. We'll have executive hearings with department heads July 8th through July 19th. And then we will finalize the budget July 22nd through August the 2nd. And then at that time, we will, sometime in August, we will have the budget workshop and then a call meeting for the public meeting on the budget. And then hopefully approve the budget at our September meeting. And that was just some information for y'all to have the budget development calendar, where we'll start working on that Friday.
Thank you.
And that's all.
Items of the board, Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, I want to thank our administrator. I met with Action Pack a couple weeks ago at our board meeting, and I explained to those ladies what we were going to do, and they were anxious to meet with him so they had some input, and they're very excited, and we're all excited. We're ready to move forward, and I appreciate you all with helping and moving the way we have. We've gone through some obstacles to get where we are, to say the least. So, but gotta make a way. Appreciate you, Mr. Administrator.
Say it.
And I also want to thank Speck for the job he's doing with recreation, and also what he's done over at Hall Richardson and everything, and what we're going to do. We got some plans over there, so when that new building gets built over there, it's going to change some things. It's going to make it a lot better, and be able to maintain that park better. Right now, it's it's too accessible, and they can just go in there and do what they want to do. So we're going to make some changes.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hopkins.
Yeah, I want to thank the road department again. Like I said, I had two calls this week, and y'all took care of both of them, so I appreciate that. This thing about Mount Pleasant, the slow down sign, I'll get with you on that, because that's right down the road from my house. Also, on these Mount Pleasant, the cemetery, y'all help me out here. Does the county, do we do that?
No.
Not on private property. I talked to Mr. Buggs. I called him when he had initially called and left the message, and explained to him that in reference to cemeteries, and he had seen, his specific request was to see if he could get the prison detail out there at that cemetery at Mount Pleasant. And the reason he made the request is because he had seen them working at the Jessup City Cemetery. So I explained to him that Jessup, Scriven, and I think Odom has one maybe, but either way, those are city cemeteries, so they are government, so they can use prison crews, but we can't have our workers or send the prison crews out to private property, and so he said he understood. But yeah, he had a few more issues, and I got with Mr. McReady, and they're getting them taken care of, or probably already got them taken care of, if I had to guess. Yep.
Just looking on the horizon, we've got a obey by the Georgia code and everything on this election board, so I'm not saying we need to talk about it, but I'm just saying we just need to be looking at this, how we want to handle it, the requirements, if we're going to make appointments and stuff. That could be down the road, but it'll be on us before we know it.
That's one of the items that's on our next week's work session.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Hickox.
I wasn't near as busy this month as I usually am doing research, so I went out to the community a lot. My favorite thing was yesterday I had an opportunity to go play softball at the Hall Richardson Community Center. So when I initially made a post on that, there were some comments that particular center isn't used, or the outside areas are not used. While I was there were 2 7-man teams playing softball. There were 15 people on the basketball courts right behind me. The volunteers from Big Brother and Big Sister came out and just cooked and fed, and that was one of the best community events that I've been to in a very long time. It turns out that we have a young football coach who graduated from Wayne County High School. I don't know much about football, but I guess they have a lot of coaches. And this young man graduated from Wayne County High School, came back, and he has started a Sunday Fun Day event at Hall Richardson. And there's some maintenance issues that really, there's SPLOST dollars here. There's SPLOST dollars here. If we're gonna have a fence company come and look at fencing at Bill Morris Park, is it possible? Because with all my skill, I spent a lot of time in right field, and there's a fence issue there. This event started at 3 o'clock. I gave out after 7 o'clock. I had to go home to use the bathroom. There's no restroom facilities. There were well over 100 people there because there was 35, 40 spectators. This was just a fantastic event. And if it's going to be an every Sunday event, nobody charged anything for anything. They just came out there and played. And it was really nice. And I don't know what we can do, we need to do, we have to do. This is just to have this next generation be excited about giving back to the community is huge. And I'll be happy to forward you his contact information. But Spec, I asked you to stay because as good as Ben Park and Bill Morris Park look, it's just limitless. And while you're talking about all the pickleball and everybody loves pickleball, you know, there's 2 courts over there. I only saw them using 1 court. I don't know if they would want community pickleball at Hall Richardson, but I don't know why not. I don't know what, it's that big of a deal. It is, because I know we gave $10,000 to Screven, we gave $10,000 for Odom. What do we have to do to make this, to be engaged and go out there and play as a community? I thought it was fabulous. My next item would be appeals on your tax assessments. Is there an easy way for people to find where to get their appeals documents? What's the easiest way for people who truly believe that their assessments are erroneous? Because people feel better when they're doing something, and everybody just wants to be heard. So what's the best way for folks to go about an appeals process?
Yep, the best and easiest way would be to call the tax assessor's office. And they can call the chief assessor, Byron Johns, or really any of those clerks up there, and they'll walk you through the process. They'll tell you what paperwork you need, and you just, unless it's changed, the last time I did it, you just go up and get a piece of paper, you fill it out, and turn it back in. Is all you do.
You can also go online, I posted it.
Oh, okay.
10 different times on Concerned Citizens. You can go and pull it up, print it out yourself, it's self-explanatory.
Well, that's even easier.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like I said, I posted it about 10 times last week because there was a lot of concern. I agree with you. And to the point where I said, hey, I'll even help you fill it out if you need me to. But, yeah, we do need to, I agree with you, Commissioner Hickox. There's a big concern on that.
My last item is a extremely sensitive item, but I just don't think it's right to close this meeting without talking about it. We had an absolute tragedy in our county. I did attend the funeral. There were several hundred people. There were several hundred people to show up to support that poor mom. So I was a little disappointed that county-wide leadership was absent. But as for me, as a sitting county commissioner, my heart goes out to this family, period. And I am on this until there's nothing to be on anymore. But I will support this mother who has gone through just a mess. That's all I have.
Mr. Chairman, I need to interject something here. Number one, I think Spec, here's the little softball game you attended and all the stuff you're talking about. That's the first time they had some out there at Hall Richardson, what, in 3 years? And so you're basing that on one time. We got plans for Hall Richardson.
Where's the plans?
I appreciate if you take care of your district and leave mine alone. If you want to do something on your district, over there on Sunset.
I didn't see you out of the football
Where
dinner.
those apartments are, You need a sidewalk all the way to Bill Marsh. Those kids are almost getting hit going out of a fishing post. Now, I was out of town. My church, we contributed to the family and everything because one of the people in the family is a member of our church. So I was aware of it. They called me, I was out of town.
If I'm invited to Hall Richardson to play softball, by God, my little fat old tail will be out there chasing balls in right field. I don't care whose district it's in.
Well, I ain't got
They invited me.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. But anyway, what
You're
I'm saying,
mean.
What I'm saying
You're
is-
mean.
What I'm saying is,
Please
that
conduct yourself
when
in
it
a
comes to-
in a professional
we
manner.
already got plans with Steck of what we're gonna do in my district. Those things are already been planned.
Well, where are they? The people of Wayne County pay for your district and my district and everybody else's district. We do not live inside of MI6. Why can't these plans be out with everybody else? Why can't these people go to the bathroom? There is flyers out for next week.
Why are we gonna put bathroom outside when they don't use the place that often out there? When we rent the building out, they do use the bathroom.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner McCrary.
Employee appreciation. Huge success. I think everybody enjoyed it. Everybody had a good time.
I'm
Just
very
a-
sorry I missed that. My daughter had a baby.
Yep. Yeah, I told everybody that I could, but huge success. And I hate that we can't do more, but I'm thankful that I don't want to call names. Do y'all, one of y'all want to say who all was involved in the facilitation of getting that together? Because I know,
Yes, I will.
thank you.
I'm happy to give kudos where they belong, and that is when y'all hired me and I first got here. One of the things that Angie Parker, who is over our Human Resources Department, she started coming to me going, look, here's some ideas that I've always wanted to do, and so we started going, okay. I said, well, put some stuff together. And early on last year, she talked about an Employee Appreciation Day, and I said, have at it. And so between her, Amanda, Dawn, and Sandy, that's literally who put that thing together. I mean, they handled everything and done. I mean, they come up with the basically the gifts and stuff for the recognition of the employees, and they did. I can't say enough the phenomenal job they did. So that's who it was.
Okay.
Angie, Amanda, Dawn, and Sandy. Not Paul.
Well, and the thing I noticed, everybody else got a day off, a half a day off, and they had spent their time serving the employees. And I would like to volunteer myself for next year to take their place, to serve the employees because they serve us so well. I got to talk to several of them. One of them I'm about to get choked up. But anyway, I talked to one, and he was so appreciative of the raises that were given to them. And I explained it, and I told him I appreciated that, him mentioning, because we take a beating, because when we give raises to employees, we have to raise taxes to pay for that. But I was very appreciative that he was so appreciative of the money that he got. And we don't mind doing it because we've got some good employees in Wayne County. A lot of people complain from time to time, but nobody's perfect. But we got pretty close to a perfect team of Wayne County crew, and I appreciate all of you.
Mr. Chairman?
Thing that Tad.
No, I'm done. That's it.
We didn't have to raise taxes. This community, this group looked at that budget and cut over $750,000 and still did a rollback and still come down half a mil, which was equivalent of $1.5 million. And
I
still
stand
gave-
corrected.
And still gave raises.
That's right.
So that, that's what we were hired for.
Yep.
Is to manage these counties. And we didn't have to go on taxes.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, you're correct. Also, I want to add that, that employee appreciation was a great thing. I was out of town again with ACCG, but, that did get into ACCG weekly thing,
Yes.
and it was great. Everybody,
Yes.
it was good.
Much deserved.
Yeah, yeah. So we got recognized statewide for that.
Yep.
That's it.
Recently, we had a complaint filed against the Wayne County Board of Commissioners pertaining to the Open Records Act and Open Meetings Act. I have a response from the Attorney General's office, and I'd just like to read that so that everybody knows. Hope you're doing well. Attached, please find Wayne County's response to the open government complaints submitted to our office. After review, our office is satisfied the county understands its responsibilities under the Open Records Act, Open Meetings Act, and we will therefore close our files on this matter and taking no further action. As chairman of this board, I will do my due diligence to follow the laws of this state and the ordinance of this county. And with that, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.